The SEC has officially filed the appeal, and are they going after Brad and Chris? Everything Torres said now is off the table. But what about the 5,000 signatures out there putting pressure on the SEC to drop the lawsuit? What about Deaton's 75,000 people that he's representing? How to crash the crypto market 101? I'm going to show you how. And Tether, everyone said they're going to fold. EU MiCA regulations kick in saying, Tether, you can't play in our backyard. Tether comes back and says, oh wait, hold my beer, girlfriend.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
That's right, I'm eating some Haribo Gold Bears because I got a run coming up and I need to get some sugar in my system. Before we start with the crypto news, we go with your comments. Hot, spicy, naughty, big jumblies. Maybe I'll share it in the beginning of the next video. Miguel Gonzalez says, I would almost be willing to give up all my XRP to go back in time and be a fly on the wall of Max Kaiser's room when you heard about the IMF views on El Salvador's relationship with BTC. For those of you that don't know, Kaiser is a BTC maxi. Pretty sure the streaming of cursing at high decibels and in a voice that probably sounded feminine was heard for blocks and blocks. Max Kaiser creeps me the fuck out. Wait, done, Miguel. Oh, Chris Herr says, I bet Nancy Pelosi sold at the top. No. You mean her husband sold at the top. Blood Oath Family Forever says they're about to create a Satoshi to wreck it. Yeah, think about this, okay? Why is it that the SEC can't go after Bitcoin? Because they don't know who created it. So there's no one to go after. You want to go after XRP? It's easy. You go after Ripple. You want to go after ADA? It's easy. You go after Charles. You want to go after XLM? You go after SDF. There's people behind this stuff. And since they don't know who Satoshi is, there's no one to go after, right? That's why it's classified as a commodity, just like gold. You can mine gold. Anyone can mine gold. Anyone can mine BTC. Who made gold? Well, no one. Who made BTC? Someone. And if we find that out, that could easily crash the market. Y'all are smart with your comments. Bitcoin sitting at 60,366. We're going to talk XRP, SEC, Ripple, appeal updates. ETH at 2424, while BNB is at 564. Sol at 143. No love for Charles, still at 35.4. He had a post yesterday or the day before complaining about how awesome ADA and Cardano was and why they're going to be number one. And they are number one. Bitch, you ain't even close to number one. Broke as a fucking joke with 35 cents. XRP sitting at 53.2. Sweet, pulling back quite a bit, about 15% from the top. Pumps and dumps in this market, better believe it. And it's not the fun you have on Friday nights. XLM rounded out at 9.2 cents. All right. So Tether, this was good news for XRP, Ripple, and RLUSD because what's happening is this. Coinbase said, look, MiCA regs are taking effect, so by 2024, Tether, end of the year, we're delisting you. Well, that's awesome because if they delist Tether, that means that a lot of money out there, a lot of players, a lot of juice can go into RLUSD. That's good news. Now, wait, though. People out here were saying, yo, but Tether is going to go upside down, belly up, they're going to go bankrupt. Fuck no. That's just stupid bullshit being touted out there. The same fucking idiots that are like, what would happen if you wake up and XRP is $140? I'd be like, well, that was some fucking great shit I smoked last night because goddamn, I haven't had dreams like that in a long time. Stablecoin issuer Tether to develop new solution for the European market. That's right. Tether being pushed out of the European market because of MiCA regs. And now Tether's like, oh, well, that's easy. We'll just develop a new product that meets your regs. See, everyone, Tether's not going away. The new crypto regs of the EU MiCA is designed to bring more safety and control to the crypto sector. However, these new sets of rules also pose risks for certain stablecoins like USDT. The regulation requires at least 60% of the stablecoin reserve to be held in EU-based banks. However, many banks in Europe can only insure deposits up to 100,000. That makes sense because a lot of things with Tether are way, way higher than that. Although some of the aspects of MiCA create obstacles, Tether praised the EU for building a well-structured regulatory environment. So now what's happening is Tether's like, look, okay, we're going to take these MiCA requirements and we're going to create a new stablecoin that fits that. They're probably going to do this really fucking quick. Why? Because in 2024, at the end of the year, they're being yanked by Coinbase in Europe. So for RLUSD, for USDC, for all the other MiCA friendly stable coins, y'all better hope that Tether takes time doing this, but we know they won't. They're going to knock this out fast. So be careful out there when you read articles and you watch posts that talk about Tether going upside down. Ripple versus SC, new appeal seeks to revisit Ripple executives dismiss charges. Yeah, let me share this with you. And by the way, as always, any article you see in this video will be linked to everyone in the description below. And happy fucking Saturday, everyone. Early Saturday. The sun's not even coming up yet, and we're bringing you the heat. All right, so here's the deets, okay, regarding what they filed. Now, they have not filed a Form C, but check this out. Defendant appellee, Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. They're both listed in this. Now, this is important because remember, they were found, hey, they didn't do any fraud. They didn't do anything wrong. So now the SEC is listing them again, and it makes you wonder, is the SEC going to go after Chris and Brad directly? Now, once they file Form C, I'm going to share that with you. Form C is going to highlight everything that they're going after in this appeal. And I get it. Some of you out there, especially if you're not in the United States, you're like, but bro, none of this fucking shit matters because we already got clarity that XRP is not a security. No. No, 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 and no. Other judges have said that Torres is a complete fucking tool. They probably didn't use that language. That's my alliteration regarding that. But they said, look, what Torres said regarding XRP doesn't make any sense. In fact, in the United States, you could appeal this. And that's probably what they're going to end up doing is appealing that. Now, what's messed up about this is that this appeal is going to drag out XRP for a while. Now, there's a petition being filed, okay? Now, mind you, Deaton represents over 75,000 people, okay, with XRP holders. And what he's trying to prove is that the SEC damaged XRP. But wait a minute, let me ask you a question. When we had that little Middle East flare-up that happened last weekend, didn't that push the pressure of XRP and the price of XRP in the entire crypto market down? It did. So it's not just the SEC that causes damage to crypto. And that's what's going to be really hard for Deaton, is proving that the SEC, is responsible for this. You can't say, well, the SEC is responsible for some of this, but not that. No, you have to prove what are they directly responsible for. But we've seen that global macros have a bigger effect. Now, this 5,000 signature thing, honestly, I think people are just wasting their fucking time. Straight up. Well, what does the SEC give a fuck about a 5,000 signature petition? Seriously, do you know what kind of petitions there have been to get rid of Biden? You know what kind of petitions there were to get rid of Trump? Did any of those work? No, they did not, girlfriend. And there was a lot more than 5,000 SIGs on those. As tensions rise in the legal battle between Ripple and the US SEC, XRP holders are speaking out on social media platforms like X. They've launched the petition titled Stop the SEC's Unnecessary and Frivolous Appeal in the Ripple versus SEC Case. Okay. This is from Fred Rispoli. And there are certainly some arguments that make that happen, especially as the revolving door has become a little bit more grotesque and more easily to be discovered through civil discovery, for example. But that happened in the Madoff case, where everybody that got screwed by Madoff sued the SEC, and they lost on the grounds that the SEC was immune and the opinion was scathing. The Second Circuit Court said the SEC was incompetent, imbecilic, and derelict to their duties, but they were just as bad at the jobs. They didn't go outside of the range where they could have been civil liability fit. And basically what's happening here is he's saying, look, they tried to go after the SEC going, hey, how did you let Bernie Madoff get away with this? And the SEC wasn't in trouble. So again, the 5,000 signature petition, not going to fucking go anywhere. Deaton trying to prove that the SEC is responsible for damages directly, that's super hard. That is crazy. Okay, let me ask you a question. When BTC crashes, what happens to XRP? It really pulls the price down of XRP. Is the BTC crash because of the SEC? No. Global macros. So again, Deaton's somehow gonna have to prove that this over here is because of the SEC, but this isn't. And the first thing they're gonna say is, well, wait a minute. Didn't XRP crash when BTC did the bank meltdown? Remember that? Didn't XRP crash when and they're gonna be like, yeah, and they're gonna be like, oh, so XRP really isn't controlled by the SEC, huh? And that's where we're going to run into progress. Now, SEC makes progress with its appeal against Ripple, but remember, they haven't filed the Form C. The details show that the case was officially docketed yesterday under docket number 242648, and the title of the US SEC versus Ripple Labs. Despite dropping the case against Ripple executives Brad and Chris, the SEC still included their names in the defendant appeal. Now, that being said, we don't know if they're going to go after them, but hey, they listed their names in there. And I've got the notice from Filen that shows everything up here on the screen. Again, we don't have a Form C yet, but as soon as I get it, I will share that with you. Now, in terms of XRP price, I've been seeing a lot of posts on Twitter where people are saying, no, XRP's not missing the bull run because of this. I think we gotta kind of pull back the hopium a little bit, okay? Because here's what's gonna happen, okay? And let's do this. Let's blow this bad boy up. Let's make these candlesticks one day, and let's talk about what's gonna be happening here with XRP. Okay, so we got a couple big factors happening, okay? We got rates that are coming down. Rates coming down are good for XRP. It's going to raise the floor of every risk asset because money is just going to be cheaper. Risky money is going to be cheaper, okay? That's a good thing for XRP. Mica pushing Tether out, which will allow some of that market space to go to other providers of stablecoins, RLUSD. That would be good for XRP, okay? Now, the SEC case, that's obviously bad because think about this. If the SEC case drags for a couple more years, you know there's people on the sidelines that are going, dude, I don't want to get involved because I don't want to get totally wrecked. I'm just going to wait for the case to be over. And we're talking about the big money, big institutional mega bags, Scrooge McDuck rich shit, stuff like that. They are very risk adverse. They're like, oh, I don't want to dip my toe in that pool because that's a risky pool. So instead, they want to wait for that risk to go away, which means when the case goes away. Now, the other problem we have regarding XRP, and a bunch of you have talked to me about this, you're like, bro, I don't want to wait 2 more fucking years, man. I don't want to wait while I see SWE pumping on some news of a trust. What about Caspa? What about Sol making the moves? What about BTC? What about BNB? What about Ton? What about all those other out there that have made some big moves in the last couple years? What about ICP? Remember ICP was like $3 and now they're floating around $8, $9, $10. So, I mean, realistically, people don't want to wait. And that's the nervous part about XRP. You've got some really good news that's going to help us out here over the next couple years. But you've also got this rain cloud of the SEC hanging over our heads. And a lot of money's going to sit on the sidelines until that gets cleared up. So are we going to get an all-time high? I don't know how the hell that's going to be possible while we're still dealing with the SEC. I have no idea how that's possible because that's going to keep institutional money away. What can change it? Regs too. You want to get some regs that are favorable for crypto? You're going to need the elections to move a certain way. I think you know what way those elections need to move if you want friendly crypto action. So the story with XRP now is seriously, it's a double-edged sword. You've got some really good news on the horizon, and you've got some really bad news on the horizon. Really good news and really bad news doesn't mean all-time high. All-time highs come from lots of really good news and no bad news. So where do we go from here? Well, it's actually pretty simple. We wait for that Form C to be submitted to see what they're actually appealing. If they're going after programmatic sales, if they're going after Brad and Chris directly, are they going after XRP's non-security designation? Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff that they can go after, and that's really going to shape what the future looks like. I hope that they're not going after XRP as a security, but even though that case is that case, you still have to remember, the SEC, Gary the Prick, remember because he looks like the peen in his little knitted thing? Gary the Prick, I like that. It's a double entendre. It has double meanings. They're still going after exchanges. Coinbase, Kraken, you guys know the deal. So really, we're not out of the woods yet at all. But lowering rates can really wipe out a lot of that negativity. Lowering rates is great for every risk asset. Every risk asset. When you look at the aggregate numbers, right? Risk assets will fare better. Every freaking crypto that's a risky play is going to fare better with cheaper money. Because as money becomes cheaper, the risk to play in that pool is less and less. And it's all about risk, right? Risk versus reward. So if you're looking at this going, okay, SEC rain cloud here, rates coming down here. Okay, we're going to have a battle here. That battle doesn't mean all-time high, though. So be very careful out there as you hang out in Twitter world, D-Gen world, where all the D-Gens and fucking McRardos post there and post dumb shit like all-time high this and, oh, we're going to wake up with $130. No. We got a ways to go. It's going to take 12 to 18 months to get rates to come on down. It's not an overnight thing. And it's going to take a couple years for the SEC to be finalized with the appeal with Ripple and going through all the case and stuff. So we got time. And time is something you never get back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run for 3.5 hours of my time because I need to get ready for a race in 4 weeks. And I'm panicking because I haven't been able to train I've wanted to because I've been doing other things, life things. So I'm going to put my little light on my back so people see me so they don't run me over because people are still idiots out here and there's still trees all over the place. I'm going to put my little light on. I'm going to go run my butt around. I'll catch you cool cats later. Choo-choo bitches. The Klaus train is about to go.